What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Drawn to Death. Of all the talented directors that work for Sony, few are more respected than David Jaffe. He's the mastermind behind both the Twisted Metal and God of War series, so when he has an idea, people listen. When word came out that he was going to make an arena shooter, obviously I was very interested, but unfortunately what we're getting here feels like a bad attempt to just copy what old executives think is cool. The entire game takes place in the sketchbook of an edgy teenager, which means you can expect everything to be ridiculous. Weapons are all insane gadgets like a rocket launcher that fires Super Nintendo cartridges, or the severed torso of a guy who throws dodgeballs. This element of pointless randomness also bleeds over into character design. We have 6 to choose from, and there's stuff like a Japanese schoolgirl with a shark head, a teddy bear that carries a chainsaw, or a cyborg vampire. On their own, a lot of this stuff would actually be pretty funny, especially with the loads of dark humor, but with how thickly it's laid on us, it instantly becomes boring. There's no real story that helps these classic cliches click together, so instead, let's just jump online and see how it plays. Speed is perhaps the most important aspect of good multiplayer, because if you mess up the flow of action, then people are going to turn it off before they get a chance to learn how to win. Thankfully, Drawn to Death handles this really well. Matches only have 4 fighters at any time, but each hero has a pretty decent amount of health, so each kill you score feels rather fun. Using your sniper rifle to blow the heads off people in a scuffle at the far edge of the map, unleashing a barrage of bullets from your minigun, or just nuking those nearby with a special is thrilling, at least for a while. These brawlers are given 2 different ultimate attacks each that can be activated once per minute. It seems like these were put in the game to try and balance out some of the more broken super weapons, and yet they don't do a very good job of it. Say you're in a duel against the last surviving member of the enemy team. If you happen to be the demon cowboy Diablo Tijuana, then you could quite easily utilize their special to punch their brains out. Even if you pick someone like Alan the teddy bear, whose chainsaw is vicious at tearing foes apart, he's far too slow to fight her off, so therefore you're instantly dead. The best and worst things about this project overall is how poorly it functions as a whole. There are absolutely some guns that are stupidly stronger than the rest. For example, this is called the Lucky Bastard. With this weapon, a full clip is 8 shots, but the twist is that 2 bullets will always do roughly 10 times the damage. If you just run around spraying this at targets, you can rack up double and triple kills back to back. There doesn't seem to be a way to counter it either. I must admit that it was pure gleeful joy to have this in my hands in a deathmatch and watch everyone just melt like ice cubes in the summer heat. Between rounds, your total points are calculated and you're given keys to choose which of the 20 guns you want to unlock next. I like this pacing because it makes it so you're always about to earn something new that could change your fighting style. Sadly, despite all these decent elements to combat, I think Drawn to Death is ruined by 2 huge problems. First off, the art is just awful. Now I understand that they wanted to stick with a notebook theme, but having such a drab, colorless world flat out sucks. At least make the walls occasionally pink or something so I don't feel like I'm exploring an unfinished level. The other major issue is the extreme lack of content. Many of the guns we get are just simple upgrades of the basic gadgets we start with. Maps are incredibly tiny, and if I'm being totally honest here, the gameplay got incredibly boring after the first couple hours. This is essentially a horrible clone of Overwatch, but with all the charm, love, and passion forcefully removed. Okay, so we've heard some good and some bad, but let's over to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Drawn to Death a 5 out of 10. If you have PlayStation Plus, this title is free for the entire month, but I'm not sure it's even worth installing. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it on places like Facebook, Reddit, and Twitter. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. This game seriously calls you an idiot about 500 times while going through the tutorial and just doing matches. And I'm starting to think that's how the developers really think of us. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.